What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Forno Gaming, and today we're taking a look at the brand new raid, Deepstone Crypt. We had a blast trying this over the weekend and kind of figuring it all out and getting the clears down. We've run it a bunch of times since then, and we've developed, I think, the best strategies that are out there right now. I've been seeing a lot of the other videos on YouTube, and they kind of just seem thrown together, and the strategies are kind of iffy, and the one that we're about to tell you here is definitely the best one I've seen, definitely the easiest, definitely the fastest, and you can actually get the raid challenge done this way, even though it's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. So let's get right into it. If you guys like Destiny content, be sure to subscribe, stick around. We cover all kinds of content, and we hope it helps you guys out. See you guys. Let's dive right into it. Alright, so starting out, this encounter has 3 spaces you're going to have to work in. The light and the dark room, which are on the first floor, and a basement. The objective of this encounter is to destroy the 3 main fuses found in the center of the light and the dark room. There's 3 on each side. In the beginning, these fuses will have glass shields over them that won't allow you to shoot them, so you'll have to go through and shoot the proper consoles to open up the shields. Now, throughout this encounter and the remainder of the raid, there's going to be 2 buffs. There's going to be an operator and a scanner. The operator buff is red and the scanner buff is yellow, and these serve like objects where they can be picked up by one player at a time to allow them to use the abilities they give you. Now, the scanner throughout the entire raid is going to be able to identify objects that are glowing yellow and call them out to their teammates. The operator is going to be the one kind of using the things or activating stuff that the scanner calls. In this encounter specifically, the scanner is going to have to run around and identify which consoles are going to have to be shot. Now, there'll be 2 on the light side and 2 on the dark side. Now, these consoles are located in the basement and must be shot from down there, but the scanner will actually need to be above, looking through the glass floors to call them out. The biggest thing here is to coordinate the room. So I have these maps for you. I found them actually on Reddit. Shout out to the Reddit user below that posted these. Go check him out and tell him thank you. But yeah, we pulled these down, and you can see here that we have the dark side of the room over here and the light side over here. Now, we labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because there's 5 consoles on each side, as you can see here. So we have dark 1 through 5, light 1 through 5. So make sure your scanner knows all those locations up top, and of course vice versa, your operator, your designated operator, is going to need to know all the spots down below. Here's the map for the basement. It's kind of a U shape. You come in right here, and this is where the terminal is down below as well. So just make sure that they kind of know this is the dark side, this is the light side, and make sure that they know where all those spots are, because it's going to be really important that they know which ones to shoot and how to get there quickly, because there are timers that have to do with wiping. The final mechanic you need to understand before you get started is how to switch these buffs once you've picked them up. There are 3 terminals in this encounter, and you'll see these throughout the rest of the raid, that allow you to drop it off and have another player pick it up. Now, all of these terminals are connected, so you can drop it into one terminal and have someone else pick it up from a different terminal. And that's how you're going to transfer buffs up and down from the basement to the top floor, because you will be locked in the basement once that player enters down there. Now, there are special servitors that will spawn called Sentinel servitors, and those will lock up the terminals and will not allow you to transfer the buff. So those are going to be the main priority for people to kill when those spawn. As for the roles for your team, I'd highly recommend having at least 1 damage buff on each side, whether it's a Well of Radiance or a Bubble. That's going to help a lot with your damage and taking down those fuses really fast during your DPS phases. Obviously, as well, you're going to want to use weapons like Xenophage. I know people are using shotguns, things like that are going to really take down the fuses quickly. But it's also important to maybe have 1 person on each side with a sword that can be a designated ad clear. There are going to be overload champions, and there are some really, really beefy enemies. So being able to take those out super quick with a sword is also really good. So make sure you do that. Also, fusion rifles are great. Zealot's Reward, of course, the go-to meta gang. If you guys don't have one of these, make sure you pick it up. There are some void shields in here, so this always comes in handy, and they can also one-shot shanks out from pretty much any range, the exploder shanks during the damage phase. Besides that, pretty much run what you want. Obviously, all of the different mods, the resistances for melees and snipers. We got obviously protective light. you know what it is. So that's pretty much it. Check out some of our build guides if you guys need help speccing out your Guardian. So let's get into a bit of the strategy here. What you're going to want to do is to split up into 3 teams. Now within those 3 teams, you're going to have 3 dedicated roles. You're going to have a scanner, you're going to have an operator, and then you're going to have a backup operator. We put the 2 operators, the operator and the backup operator, on the light side team, and then we put the scanner on the dark side team. If you are trying to complete the resource contention triumph, this is really important that your operators are on the same side so that they're using the same terminal to swap the buffs. Fill in the other players however you see fit with 3 people on the light side and 3 on the dark. Now to start the encounter, you're going to have your primary operator pick up the operator buff from the terminal on the light side. The doors will lock here after a short period, so make sure everyone's on their proper side. On the first wave of adds on the dark side, a hacker vandal will spawn with the scanner buff. You'll see the little yellow icon floating above his head. So kill him as quickly as possible and have your designated scanner pick up that buff. The scanner needs to immediately start looking for which consoles are glowing yellow and need to be shot by the operator later in the phase. Now, in most guides I've seen, they'd ask you to transfer over the scanner buff to someone on the light side, but you can actually just have your operator come down to the back doors where you go under to the basement and open both doors for you and let your designated scanner come through. We recommend that the operator and scanner switch sides so that way you still have 3 people on each side to help with ad control, but this allows 1 person to deal with the scanner, and since a wave of ads spawn every time you swap the buff through the terminals, this will help decrease the amount of ads that you get throughout the encounter. Now the scanner will go through and find the remaining 2 on the light side, and once you have all 4, the operator can activate the doors and go down into the basement. Upon entering the basement, there is a 1-minute kill timer where the entire floor will turn to lava or fire or whatever you want to call it, and so you don't have a lot of time down there. So in getting all 4 first, this gives your operator plenty of time to go around the basement and shoot the 4 corresponding consoles. Once he shoots the 4th and final console, it will enter into the damage phase. This will cause all 6 fuses to be exposed in the middle, 3 on each side, light and dark as seen on the map, but only 1 can be shot at each time. Now to find out which fuses need to be shot, the operator down below is going to have to call it out. There are 6 smaller fuses right above the terminal down below in the basement that correspond with the large fuses that you need to shoot above. But in order for your basement player to see this, they will need the scanner buff so that they can call out which one is glowing yellow. So immediately after the damage phase begins, you need to do a quick sequence of buff swaps through the terminal. Your basement player will deposit his operator buff into the terminal, and your backup operator up above will pick it up. Once that's been picked up, your scanner can then deposit his buff so that your player below can pick it up. Both sides should now group in their well or their bubble and get ready for damage phase based on what the basement player calls. During this time, exploder shanks and more ads will be spawning, so it is important that if one of the opposite side's fuses gets called, your team turns and kills all the ads while they take down their fuse. Once the fuse that was called is killed, a new fuse will light up down below and your basement player can call it out. These fuses go down very quick, and if your team is coordinated, you can actually kill all 6 in a single phase. Now, in the case that your team does not kill all 6 in a single phase, you will have to rinse and repeat and destroy 4 more consoles again to activate another damage phase. So immediately after damage phase, your basement player needs to send scanner back through the machine so that your designated scanner can pick it up and begin searching for the scans again from up top. Now, unless your team is extremely quick, this will take longer than the 1-minute kill mechanic that is down in the basement. So it's important that your backup operator goes and swaps out with your downstairs basement player to reset that 1-minute kill mechanic. To do this, simply have your backup operator go down as usual, and when they open up the staircase, your downstairs player can come up. Now, the main doors will not open if there's 2 players in this room, which is why your backup operator has to replace the basement player and go down themselves. Once the backup operator is down and the stairway doors are closed, your primary operator who just came up just needs to walk up to one of the other doors and it will open for them. Now, immediately, the player that just went down into the basement with the operator buff is going to want to send it back up through the terminal. This will set you back up to exactly what you had in the first encounter, with your scanner on one side getting the first 2 consoles and your main operator up top as well. Once the scanner has both of the consoles on one side, have your primary operator open the doors for them so they can pass through again. This again eliminates the need for a second scanner and to have to pass that scanner buff, which means you don't have to spawn as many ads and you can just have one person worry about which consoles are available. The only difference is this time, when the operator opens the doors for the scanner, he's also going to swap with the downstairs player as well. This once again will reset that 1 minute kill timer, and the new primary operator that just went down with the buff can go get the first 2 consoles that have been called already by the scanner, while the scanner finds the remaining 2 consoles on the new side. Your primary operator should have plenty of time to shoot all 4 consoles and start the next damage phase. Once again, do your quick swap so that the basement player can have the scanner buff and then finish off the remaining fuses. If for some reason you're still not able to finish all 6 fuses in your second phase, simply rinse and repeat for a third time to finish off the encounter. And congratulations, with that you've beaten the Crypt security encounter. As you can see, this makes this encounter very simple since only 2 people really have to worry about being an operator or scanner. And it's also extremely easy to get the Raid Triumph resource contention if you just make sure that your top players are switching buffs on the light side and not the dark side. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope that helps you guys out. If it does, please leave a like. We have all of our other raid guides coming out along with a bunch of other build guides, all kinds of Destiny content. We have a live show every Monday breaking down this week at Bungie, not the actual TWAB, but the whole game in general. So that's a lot of fun too. Be sure to tune in for that and subscribe if you're into Destiny. All right, we got lots of new content coming. We hope to see you guys around on the wagon, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.